United by Music. That's the slogan for one of the world's most watched events.
This year, though, that feels a little ambitious, I've got to say, Jerry.
I mean, normally we can rely on Eurovision, can't we, for a little light nationalism, high camp polyester, and tunes to distract us.
But when the world is on fire, even Eurovision feels the heat.
And this year, it faces the biggest political boycott of its lifetime.
So, brace yourselves. I'm Hamish McDonald.
And I'm Geraldine Doog. Let's dive into the geopolitics of Eurovision.
Well, Geraldine, can we begin this episode, please, by outing you as a bit of an abertragic?
I'm an abertragic, but I'll have to confess, I'm not a Eurovision tragic. It sort of astonishes me. I mean, I can see it's a complete sort of distraction from life, but I am an abertragic, yes, there's no doubt about that. But I've watched, because of you, guiding me, I've watched the last sort of 40 best songs, and I think,
Did you catch Delta Goodrem with her performance?
I did.
Okay.
And look, Delta can sing, I thought, I didn't think it was bad, actually. I thought it was quite good.
Yeah, climbing up on the piano, absolutely belting it out. You've got to say she's in with a shot.
Yeah.
But look, there's always politics involved in Eurovision, and that's what we're going to get to on this episode. But what does stand out this year is that this is probably the most fraught version of the politics of Eurovision, and that's largely because of Israel.
Yes, there are a lot of stories around. There's a lot of people dodging and weaving and not answering yes or no. But I think it's pretty clear that the Israeli Foreign Ministry, and possibly money directly from a sort of hollow log, as it were, of the Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, is putting a lot of effort into getting votes for the Israeli candidate from around the diasporas around the world. It did it last year. It's decided, apparently Eurovision is very popular inside Israel itself, and they garner a lot of votes in places that are known to be extremely against the war in Gaza. So there's a lot of puzzlement, shall we say, as to how the Israeli candidates aren't bad, but they do exceptionally well. They came second last year, only just pipped at the post by Austria. So this year, there are a range of countries have boycotted and said they won't participate if Israel is allowed to participate. So it's a big crisis for Eurovision.
Yeah, and they're not small countries either. It's the likes of the Netherlands and Spain, also some of the smaller countries like Slovenia boycotting. It's the broadcasters, though, that are making that choice. I think it's important to make that distinction between the broadcasters and the nations themselves. And in part, this is why it does become so complex, because the EBU, that's the European Broadcasting Union, which runs Eurovision, is not a geopolitical organisation. It's not a nation state. It's not a foreign ministry. And at times they defend themselves by saying, this is not our world. This is not our space. We're not set up to navigate these sorts of things. But then inevitably it does make decisions. So in the wake of the full-scale Russian invasion of Ukraine, it did bar Russia. And so now when you have the situation with Israel and Gaza, there are countries and there are viewers, participants asking the question, well, hang on, why did you throw Russia out but then keep Israel in, given what's unfolded in Gaza? Now, there is a defence that's put forward by the EBU, which we're going to get to during the conversation with our guest on this episode. But you can see how fraught that becomes.
Look, it's very interesting to watch this Eurovision, curious that it has become some sort of tool of soft power, because it has, I think, 150, 160 million viewers around the world. I mean, and clearly it... attitudes come to the fore because it's playful. It's designed, ironically, to join everybody together in sort of silly music and spectacle. But it seems to have assumed quite a lot more credibility or status, and that's what's now at stake.
Well, let's get to our guest, Dean Vilatich, who's an Australian author of post-war Europe and the Eurovision Song Contest, a historian of contemporary Europe. He specialises in Eurovision. And I should flag, Geraldine and I were both doing this remotely. Jerry had a few technical issues. So the beginning of the interview, Jerry's not there, is tackling the technical demons, but you will hear from her partway through the interview.